things that like online, because it's that's really what it is. It's the photographs and stuff that come through the feed.
Right.
And I was like, what? Like, because she had like
because she did put it out
stuck
there.
under the bed, like the booty's up in the air, with her head stuck under the bed.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to... That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh.
Isn't 50 Cent sharing some exclusive footage of Diddy's Freakoffs that Terrence Howard sent him? Terrence Howard is finally revealing the truth about Diddy. And trust is blazing hot. For years, he has been outspoken about how he was essentially kicked out of the industry for not participating in some of this shady business. Well, with these new revelations about Diddy, it appears that we are finally getting a glimpse of who all these influential people were. But Diddy is not the only one involved, because Terrence had a little more to say about Diddy's booth than Young Miami. Terrence is claiming that Young Miami was allegedly at these freak-offs, but the real tea here is what he allegedly caught her doing on camera because, y'all, it's more disgusting than you can ever imagine. Let's go right to the point because this is going to get crazy. Terrence Howard's revelation of information about Diddy is absolutely crazy. And what's even more crazy is that he did it without being asked because no one knew he had dirt on Diddy in the first place. A couple of days ago, he sat down for a podcast interview, and let's just say he had some things to get off his chest about Diddy, and from the sound of it, his experience wasn't too different from what a bunch of other folks have been saying about Diddy for years now. Yeah, all that stuff about the alleged shady behavior, trying to lure people into uncomfortable or messy situations. Well, Tim said Diddy hit him up talking about he needed to help with his acting. This is interesting though, because we know Diddy does act here and there, but not like all the time. I mean, he has made his appearance on a few shows, but nothing so serious that he would need an acting coach from Terrence Howard. But anyways, Terrence pulled up thinking it was all business, but once he got there, then he started acting real different. Like, he had some other plans, but Terrence made it clear and quick that he does not play those types of games. And he wasn't here for none of that, so he shut him all the way down.
Did you ever have the opportunity when you got invited and said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's your material? Just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. Come over and play the music. Sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week, and I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you notice to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach and threaten punch them in the mouth, threatening to knock their head off for talking to you like or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're gonna get a real reaction.
Allegedly, he also wanted to make it clear that he wasn't the only one that Diddy had tried to put moves on. He claimed that Diddy allegedly put moves on every single man who had attended his parties. He said the man lost their man cards at those Diddy parties.
But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the Puffy party. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they do. Get punked out, pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
It's not secure. It looks like nobody's really safe at Diddy's parties because it's looking real shady out here. But what's wild is that it ain't even Terrence's first time speaking on this kind of shady behavior in Hollywood. He's actually been saying it for a minute now that he got punished and pushed out of the game because he wasn't willing to play by their rules. A few years back, Terrence opened up about what he says was the real reason he dipped out the industry and called it quit on acting. And no, it wasn't just because he was tired or not getting roles. He said straight up that Hollywood was trying to strip him of his manhood. However, once he took his stand, that's when folks started calling him difficult and acting like he was the problem. It's the same old setup we've seen so many times with females in the industry. As soon as somebody speaks out or refuses to fall in line, the industry flips the script on them. So when he popped up talking about he was retiring from acting, back in December 2022, folks were definitely caught off guard. This timing had people scratching their heads because it was still like he was landing big roles. And the fan base was solid, there was no drama out in the open, no scandal that would have pushed him out the game like that. But according to Terrence, there was more going on behind the scenes. He said the industry was trying to put him in some real uncomfortable situations. Stuff he felt was meant to strip away his manhood, and when he pushed back and said no, he claimed Hollywood didn't take too kindly to that. The next thing we know, he was out. He eventually came out of retirement, but he's still moving real cautiously. Since stepping back into the spotlight, Terrence hasn't been shy about pulling the curtain back on what he says is the shady side of the entertainment world. One thing he keeps calling out is the pressure he felt to wear a dress on screen, something he stood 10 toes down against. According to him, those scenes had nothing to do with the story and seemed like they were just meant to clown him or chip away at his manhood. Sounds a lot like Kat, and let's be clear, this ain't some brand new conversation over the years. Quite a few black male actors have said the same thing, that producers tried to push them into wearing dresses in movies or skits, where it didn't even make sense. G. Williams stated the same thing when he spoke extensively about his entire emasculation problem with Club Shay. Shay, revealing that it's far more prevalent in Hollywood than people may realize. According to Kat, the push to dress up or behave in ways that undermine a man's masculinity typically comes with a really nice deal. He continued by saying that he had actually declined fat checks on multiple occasions due to this exact problem, but
just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling. Right. Because people be the body. And you gotta tell him no. You gotta tell him no. I did. I got received everything I'm telling you. That's why Thank you. Come on. Because early on he was accusing them.
But at the time, Terrence jumped in to offer his own thoughts, and he had something really intriguing to say. You may recall how, following Cat Williams' interview, there were rumors that Terrence was fired for having a temper and being too difficult to work with. Terrence came through to clear the air, putting an end to the rumors and making it clear that the true reason he was replaced was because he stood his ground and wasn't going to. My dad taught me to never take vertebrae out of your back or the base out of your throat. I ain't raising sheep. I raised men, he stated, claiming that this is precisely why they let him go, rather than letting the industry play him or take away his manhood. Keep in mind that being a male is a curse because society is androgynous and not designed for men to thrive. The more successful males aren't effeminized, but he didn't stop there. Terrence reiterated in a different interview that there is a covert scheme to dehumanize black men because they perceive strong black men as a danger. The man has been demonized with a new formula. He said in the interview, "Most men are made to be effeminate and not have their power or sense of strength. When it comes to black men, it's seen as a threat. I don't want to remove a few commercial zones to fit in someone's story, so I feel they need to expand their stories to allow men to be men and simultaneously appreciate a woman's beauty." Given his recent statements about Diddy, it's not surprising that fans have begun to piece things together. And to be honest, it's starting to resemble Since, but that's not where it ends. An insider claims that Terrence is withholding even more explosive material that might be even more harmful than what he has previously said. And 50 Cent claims that it is all related to Diddy's side project. Following the viral success of Terrence's interview, 50 Cent declared that he would remain silent and remark, "No comment. I'm staying positive. God help us all." However, it appears that he may have changed his mind because he is now making some crazy claims about having some nasty Freakoff footage. According to reports, Terrence allegedly took the footage at one of the parties he attended, and it purports to show Young Miami in some interesting situations. However, this isn't particularly shocking because there have been rumors on the streets that Young Miami, the city girl, knows far more than she is admitting. In fact, there have been rumors that she was involved in Freakoffs, not as a victim, but rather as a conspirator. For instance, when his side kitty Gina Juan posted a picture of herself and Diddy, Miami became enraged and threatened to force Gina into a freak-off, saying, "Tina, you've been down bad ever since I came into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a bee that eat P&D when he felt like it. You a bee that was crying on Tasha K because you wanted a baby poor sushi. You wanted a baby bee. I have a Korea hoe. You are a certified freak. You haven't heard from Diddy since the awards reminiscing on getting rid of babies. Let that heart go chun me. If I wanted you to eat me, Diddy would have had you on your knees. You a bee, you a munch, not a munch." But don't even get me started on how she allegedly bullied one of Diddy's other side pieces when she got pregnant with Diddy's child. According to reports, in July 2022, Jane Doe traveled to defendant Combs' residence in Los Angeles at his direction after being forced to take drugs at Diddy's house and began groping Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs sent her in there to essay Mr. Jones as she entered the bathroom. She dropped to her knees and began performing oral action on Mr. Jones's exposed privates. Mr. Jones pushed her away and exited the bathroom. It continued. Young Miami's cousin did not accept Mr. Jones's rejection as she proceeded to follow Mr. Jones out the bathroom. She started undressing, attempted to straddle him, and have intimacy with him in the presence of Mr. Combs and his staff. The document said, "On another occasion in Miami, Florida, on Thanksgiving night 2022, Mr. Combs asked Mr. Jones and DeForest Taylor to enter the studio bathroom. He asked them for a $100 bill because he wanted them to do nose candy with him. Mr. Jones was scared, but luckily, he didn't have a $100 bill. So Mr. Combs waited a little later to do nose candy with young Miami." The court filing states that plaintiff and the Combs Rico enterprise were practicing for something at the Water Festival in Virginia when he accused young Miami of helping Diddy transport drugs and bringing them to Diddy whenever he needed them, no matter where he was. Cliff Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of coke in his dressing room. Defendant Sean Combs wanted to eat, but Brendan forgot it, so defendant Christina Corum brought it on the jet from Miami, the court filing reads. He went on to accuse young Miami of being a S worker for Diddy and getting a monthly payment in exchange for her services. The court documents said young Miami Jade and Defani Joy were paid a monthly fee work as Mr. Combs S workers and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which outlined defendants' ongoing criminal operation. So there have been multiple accounts of people linking young Miami to Diddy. And it looks like 50 Cent allegedly has some videos of her caught in 4K. And honestly, 50 Cent is the last person you want having tea on you because that man is as petty as and messy as they come. And when you factor in this beef with Diddy and what's been going on for more than 20 years, well, you can say things are looking good for young Miami, and Terrence Howard might be telling the truth, but 050, it's only a matter of time before he leaks the tape and blows up the drama again. But in the meantime, I want to know what y'all feel about young Miami being dragged in this all over again because of Terrence Howard's comments. Drop your thoughts and comments below, and then check out this next video because it's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to get them subscribers for it